Hi, and welcome to the Daily Pulse. I'm Danielle McFadden, president of the Greater Lowell Chamber of Commerce, and I am filling in for Teddy today. It is Folk Fest week, as you all know. The Folk Fest is this Friday to Sunday, so Teddy is a little busy at his other job at the Athenian Corner. But I'm very happy to be here, and you're going to be delighted to see who my guest is. But first, this Daily Pulse is sponsored by Ray Booten, licensed realtor in Massachusetts and New Hampshire, certified appraiser in both states as well. So if you're looking to buy or sell a home, a business, or commercial property, Ray Booten is the one to contact. Find him online at realestaterayBooten.com. That is realestaterayBooten.com. And by WellPoint, the only health plan offering healthcare benefits exclusively to Massachusetts GIC members. At WellPoint, your whole health is their whole point. I'm so excited. I have Scott Boyle on with me today. Scott is the head football coach at Lowell High School and a long time, lifelong Lowellian.
Yes.
How are you today?
Very good, and thank you for having me on, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for coming on. I'd love to start by talking about your history at Lowell High School as a student athlete, and then as a teacher in Lowell Public School System, and as a coach.
Sure. I played 3 sports at Lowell High School: football, basketball, and baseball. I've been a phys ed teacher in Lowell for like the last 25 years, and
Wow.
I've coached the football team and the basketball team during the early 2000s, football in the 97 to 2006, and I was actually an assistant girls basketball coach for about seven years, I think, with Mike Crowley. So I've lived here my whole life and worked here my whole life, and I'm back coaching the football team right now.
Yes, very exciting. From 97 to 2006, you compiled a 68-37-2 record and 4 8-season wins. 8-win seasons. And you came back in 2024 some more?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I think, you know, it was more about like come back as a program. I felt like maybe needed a boost and wasn't where it should be, and by no means of anyone's fault, but I just thought there was something maybe we could do to, bring that pride back and build the program up. And it's not an easy job, and it takes a lot of work. So I was up for the challenge and was fortunate enough to get the head coaching job.
That's amazing. Yeah, we talked a little bit off air about that community pride and what we can do to get people to come and cheer
Yeah.
on the players and come watch the games.
Yeah, I think it's important. Like we have a lot of good kids, like and they're 3 sport athletes, and they represent Lowell High School in the community very well. And I think it is, for them, they're deserving of having support from the community, from the
Absolutely.
students at the school, and that's a goal of ours, is to try and get people, at the games and create an atmosphere that's exciting for them as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What was it like coming back to Colley Stadium last year?
I feel like I never really left because I live in Lowell and I'm always there, so it wasn't really like.
Lowell has that pull.
Yeah, it's not like I moved away and came back. So it was exciting to represent the team and work with the kids. So that was definitely something that I look forward to when it happened. But it wasn't like I never left, to be honest with you.
Have you noticed anything that had changed with the program or the schools or the city between that time that you had gone off to coach in other places?
Yeah, I don't, because I teach in Lowell, so I
Right, you're
teach in
plugged
middle
in.
school. I'm plugged in, and I'm around the kids all the time, and and I have always, no matter what, whatever I'm doing, I always follow the sports, whether it's the basketball, the baseball, the football team. So it wasn't like I was away from it.
Yeah.
I was just wasn't the coaching it.
Yeah.
So yeah, not much has changed. I think a lot of people like, oh, it's much harder to coach these days, and I don't necessarily see the kids. Any kids are the kids. Like they're same way when I left it. They're the same way now. I think, in fairness to the kids, they have maybe more distractions and they're dealing with more. And I kind of understand that, actually having my own kids now. And that might be the only difference, is they deal with more than they ever had to deal with back when I first started coaching.
How did football and other sports as student athlete kind of change your life?
Oh, for sure.
I'm going off script right now, everybody.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I always liked school, but sports was my most important
Yeah.
thing. And I think when I got into coaching, it was two reasons. One was Dennis and George Scannell, who coached me in college over at Lowell, and I had a great time playing for them and a great experience. And then when they asked me to come volunteer at the high school, and I did, and I was around Dennis and George, and it was the coaching was important, but it was what they did for kids on the
Mhm.
side that I really, at that point, I was, taken aback by like, they had this like philosophy of like, hey, this kid could go to Kentucky or this kid could go play at BC or go here. And I'd never really seen that view. I thought from Lowell, your windows were tight and you didn't maybe have those opportunities. But they were the first two people that I really saw promote the kids and look for the highest level of achievement where
Mhm.
they might go, and kind of inspired me like, wow, to be able to do that for kids at the high school, like, and that was never really maybe the thought process that I had.
Yep.
So it influenced me a lot. And those two guys, Dennis and George, and probably I'm sure a lot of people know it, but they should be like well respected for what they still do for kids. And they're a big part of them is in me when I help kids.
And it's beyond just coaching the kids. And we talked about this
Yeah,
off air. Can you talk about kind of the other opportunities that Lowell High football players get?
sure. We have right now we do a lot like our football season ends in November, but myself and other coaches we work year round, and I know one of my big things is the strength and conditioning program in the recruiting process. And the recruiting process involves like the kids identifying where they can play
Mhm.
and where they're interested in. We have a junior, going to be a junior, Colin Christensen, was offered by
Yep.
UNH a full scholarship, and I believe he'll have more schools to offer him. That's unusual for a junior to get offered this early. We have a senior, Stephen Manny, was offered last Friday by Amherst College. The acceptance rate there is 9%. And the head coach spoke to me and he's like, Scott, it's essentially a scholarship. If he qualifies financial aid, it's $91,000 a year to go here. He'll go for nothing.
It's incredible.
Yeah, he was offered by Endicott College, Williams, Trinity, Wesleyan. There's schools like Colby that are all he's on their radar, and it's just a pre-read done that he could end up with multiple offers.
Why are they on their radar?
I think like it's one again. I go back to it like with Dennis and George. It's as important to me as the football part and promoting my players and trying to get the right fit for them
Mhm.
and talking to coaches and bringing them to camps. We've gone to this off season. We've been at BC for a 7-on-7, Boston College for a 7-on-7 tournament, Merrimack College for a 7-on-7 tournament. Uh, I took the kids down to Springfield College with it's called the Bone Camp. There's like 1,000 student athletes go there. It's the biggest football camp in New England.
Mhm.
We brought 5 or 6 kids down there where there's 100 college coaches there, and it's continuously doing things to help your kids get exposure. And I love doing it. And kids are going to the camps. We sent 3 kids down to Peyton Manning's QB Academy in Louisiana again for the second time this year. They were full scholarship. It's $900 a year to go there. $900 a kid to go there. They go all expenses paid. We fly them down with a couple coaches, and they're around Peyton Manning, Eli Manning, John Gruden
Wow.
was there, and 30 or 40 of the top college quarterbacks in the country are there. So the exposure and the experience they have, and it's stuff like that that I think in our program that's maybe different from other programs, and we're continuously doing it to help promote our kids.
It's amazing. And you and the other coaches, you know the coaches from the different colleges and universities, you know the camps where they are,
Sure.
the ones to attend.
Yeah. I think coaching in college gave me that like relationships with many of the New
Absolutely.
England coaches, and I feel like almost in every staff I'll know one of the coaches, if not the head coach, and again, it's something that like I love reaching out and calling for our kids. And
Yeah.
yesterday I was talking to the head coach at Colby, Jack Cosgrove. He was the head coach at Maine, and it went back in the day. But I was speaking to him about 3 or 4 of our kids, and the head coach at WPI or Brown University, and Boston College.
Yeah.
It's nothing. I picked up the phone and called a couple of the coaches at Boston College for our kids, and just trying to get them exposure and see if we can get them places.
Yeah. Incredible.
Yeah.
Great opportunity. What were some of the challenges when you came back in 2024?
I think it's more. I have expectations for our program and for myself and for our coaches and for our players, but I'm continuously telling them your expectations should be higher for yourself than or as high as the ones I'm putting on you. Like when it's player driven and they're like, this is what we want. Like I can want it, they gotta want it. And I think last year I started to see that for sure. I think it's a strong point with our kids this year that their expectations from themselves are we don't want to settle for being average or we don't want to be below average. And as long as you have that and the kids are driving it, then it's real meaningful. So I think that's the part of like changing that, the expectations.
And now they have the continuity. They have you as their coach for the
Yeah.
second year. What breakthroughs did the team and staff have in 2024 that are giving you confidence going into the 2025 season?
I think we have a pretty good core of kids that played last year coming back. So again, it's we faced a lot of adversity last year. It didn't go the way we wanted at all. And I look at them and say, look, one thing didn't change for me going to practice, no matter what happened every week. And the kids that kept working, I think they learned that like, hey, if we won, what would our attitude be like? If we lost, it has to be the same way. So I think that them coming back, they want more, I want more, and hoping that we have a very successful season because of our experiences of maybe the failure we had.
They're working hard year round.
Yeah, no, they go at it with strength and conditioning, 7-on-7, go to camps. It's nonstop for them.
Yeah, waking up
Yeah,
for 6 a.m. workouts.
yeah. We do that Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6:15 to 7:30, and then they go off to work. And we have a good core group that come in and doing a really good job.
Yeah, and you're there with them.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I mean, like you said, it is a year-round
Oh yeah.
position.
I think high school coaching for all coaches, like to do it right, you're wearing many hats. Whether
Yeah.
it's we talked about it like the strength and conditioning, the recruiting, social emotional help with the kids, traveling, rides. There's a lot that goes into high school
Yeah.
coaching, and a lot of good coaches out there that do a lot of good work.
And some kids, I'm sure that you're having a conversation with them about what do you want to do after this? Where do you want to go to school? And there may be players that never even thought about where do I want to go to school? I didn't even know that was a possibility.
Sure, I think it's like, every kid has a different need. Some kids might not need that support.
Yeah.
Some kids do, and it's kind of, the ones that most of our kids kind of have support, but maybe not college support as far as athletics.
Yep.
So I love taking that role on and say, hey, I can see you going here, 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 and planning that schedule out for them
Yeah.
and providing opportunities. So yeah, that's a big part of our program.
Yeah, you can tell it's something that you're passionate
Yeah.
about.
No doubt.
We talked a little bit about this, but can we touch upon a little bit more about the returning or rising standouts that you're excited about?
Sure.
this upcoming season?
For seniors, I mean, we have a number of them. I'll start with our captains. We have Ryan Conley, Anthony Perez, and Joseph Flores. Ryan's been playing on the varsity, him and Anthony, for almost 4 years now.
Wow.
So those three guys are our captains, and we have a junior captain, Colin Christensen, which is I named him a captain because of his attitude, his kind of enthusiasm about football and sports, and it's kind of unusual for a junior to get named captain, but I felt very confident in him, and it was a great selection, I think, for our team. And we'll name one more captain, but we have seniors Seth Lee, Stephen Manny, Ben Durkin, Ricky Palm, Dewis Garrido. We have a bunch.
I know that's hard once you start naming people. You're like, oh my God.
So we have a bunch of seniors that are working hard, doing a good job in the weight room. And so for them, I think it's important to have a successful year. And we have a nice blend of junior athletes and a couple sophomores. So it isn't like we're just senior laden. We have a good blend of juniors as well. So
Great.
yeah.
Feeling good. And we talk about how hard these players work and how hard you're working in your staff. And as a community, I just feel so strongly like, let's go support the team. Let's go to the games, show our support.
Yeah.
It's a ton of fun to go to.
Sure.
Connects you to the community.
Yeah. I think, if it's a situation where it's maybe a little different than some communities where the stadium's not attached to the high school.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's maybe where it starts is what can we do to bring the students out and create that atmosphere. It's their classmates and be there and create an event where they're happy to be there, not just for football. Maybe it's music, maybe it's some food, a barbecue, but bring them there and make it more than just a football game as well. And I think our kids deserve it. They work really hard and, have that support and through the community to get people from the community to come out. And I think in Lowell, if you're winning, the crowds really grow.
Yeah.
But it'd be nice to just start out and have it. They deserve it, whether we're 10-0 or 5-5. The kids really deserve that support and atmosphere.
And if you're a parent listening or watching and you have kids, it's such a fun place to go. My kids have a ball. Your kids have a ball.
Yeah. My little guy's only 2 and he's running around the field before, during, after games. It's
like a little mascot.
Yeah, my daughter loves it and her friends go. So it's a nice event. And, usually the weather's really nice until late October, November. So.
Oh, there's nothing like a football, like a Friday night when you have your sweatshirt on and you're watching a game and it's under the lights. We talked about all of these different opportunities, whether it be sending your players to camp or doing something maybe before the games. These things all cost money.
Yeah.
So for anybody that's watching or listening, whether you're just a member of the community that's excited after listening to this, or you're a local business, are there opportunities for people to make a donation to help the program?
We have the Friends of Lowell High football, and each athletic team has their own committee like that. So you could make a donation to the Friends of Lowell High football. You could drop it off at the athletic office, mail it. You could call me or email me. My email is Lowell teacher sboyle@lowell.k12.ma.us and contact me by email. But I think the community was very generous last year and helped us a real lot. And we raised almost $40,000 and we bought two sets of uniforms for the kids. So the community has been really, really good. And I think every year, though, it's like we have a banquet. We take kids to all those events, the camps, the leagues. We do so much. So there's a lot of need for that financial money to help the kids.
Yeah.
So I don't, it's probably one of the things I don't like stressing to the community because they were really good last year, but we still have.
I'll stress it to the community. I have no issues with that.
So it is the kids. It goes right to the kids for everything we do.
Yeah. And I mean, there may be somebody watching that maybe they had a son that played football. They're like, I want to sponsor a kid to go to a camp.
Yeah.
I mean, they could reach out to you and say, like, I want this money to go to this.
Sure.
And people like to sponsor things for different reasons.
Yeah. I think, many of our kids could probably go, like the camps nowadays are anywhere from $90 to $100 for a one-day camp to go to a college camp and get exposure. We had just last week, one of our, Josh Boucher went to the Bentley camp. Stephen and Manny Joseph Flores were at Amherst College. Ryan Conley was at Central Connecticut. And we had 4 or 5 kids go in the last 2 or 3 days. And every time they go, it's $90 or $100. And if you went to 4 or 5 of those in a week, that's $500.
Absolutely. It adds up quickly. Yeah.
And for a lot of kids, not just our kids, all high school kids, that is one of the most critical aspects of recruiting, because if you're on that college's campus and they can evaluate you, that's generally when everything happens for them. So it is highly critical and important for our players to be able to attend those one-day camps.
And you're driving them in many cases.
Yeah, we travel and bring them. And I think that's, exciting part. Like when we went down to the Springfield camp, it was a couple coaches and parent took the kids and myself, and we had a great day, but our kids got some great exposure from that camp. And that's what it's about. If you don't go to those, the other kids are there, they'll jump ahead of you in that recruiting process.
Does that help with like team building too, when you're all packed in a car together? I mean, I'm sure it's nice on the way there. On the way home, it might be a little smelly, but
I think it is, because you're going to do something and you're together, and whether you stop and you grab something to eat and you're talking on the way, and you learn, like for me, you learn a lot about your kids if you're driving with them and you're talking, because it's not always about football now.
Absolutely.
You're talking about different things, and their family life or what they like to do outside of football, and conversations go all different directions. So you develop some laughs, but more importantly, you get to know each other better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. So somebody that hasn't been to Collie in years, they're coming back because they're very excited after listening to this. What can they expect?
Um, for our games,
Yeah.
I think you're going to see we have a lot of skilled kids that are exciting. Like they can catch the ball, they can run with the football. Um, I think you're going to see some athletes run around and be exciting for to watch.
Mm-hmm.
We have, I tell you, our offensive linemen, defensive linemen have been probably our hardest workers in the weight room, have done a great job, and they don't get noticed. They don't carry the football. They don't do a lot, but those guys are the core of our team.
Yeah.
And I want to acknowledge them because they do so, they work out so hard and have done a really good job to get ready for this season. So if we can get that, the whole thing rolling together, we have skilled kids, we have offensive line. I think you'll see an exciting team playing this fall that plays with enthusiasm.
That's great.
Yeah.
From a spectator perspective, I mean, what I see is the team
Yeah.
obviously working hard, but just, the parents who are so proud and
Yeah.
they're all together, the camaraderie
Yeah.
within families and the community,
Sure.
and then the kids, they're over by the entrance, they're
Yeah.
tossing a football, they're cheering on,
Yeah.
everybody's wearing their Lowell colors. I mean, it's just so much fun. It's just a way to feel great about what a special community Lowell really is.
Sure, I think I go back to it in Lowell when we were winning, the crowds were amazing and they supported the kids and it was such a great atmosphere. And even when I was young, when I go out to College Stadium, when I wasn't playing before I got to high school and the lights were on,
Oh, yeah.
and the announcement, the music over the announcement, announcer speaking, and it was like back then I felt like I was going to a professional game because of the lights, and the stadium is a spectacular venue. Like it's probably one of the nicest ones in Massachusetts,
Yeah.
as far as that. And so I think for the fans, that young fans especially that come out, it's not like that everywhere. Some fields aren't like that in stands and stadiums. So it is. It can be a great place to watch a football game.
And if you see an adorable little boy who's 2 years old, that is Kelly. And
He'll be trying to. He'll be trying to. I tell you, he loves sports. Like some kids you can see it. My daughter.
yeah.
My daughter loves a lot of different things. He's like football, basketball, kicking a ball, and my daughter's like she loves playing with her friends. So they're two different kids, but they love being out there and they love that atmosphere. So yeah, I'm happy for them that they're around it.
It's really fun.
Yeah.
Is there anything that we didn't touch upon that you want the viewers or listeners to know? We will be doing more with Lowell High
Sure.
football this year, so I'm throwing that out there.
Yeah.
So this isn't the last you'll hear of Coach Boyle and the Lowell High football team.
I think you suggested, I thought it was a great idea. I'd love to have, a player come in and you said you could do a show where you'd highlight a kid a week. I thought that was a great idea. And I do think for our kids, like that recognition and that highlight, they do so much. Most of our kids play 3 sports, 2 sports, and I'd love for them to get that exposure and people to see who they are.
Yep.
And I think that's a great idea, and I'll definitely jump on board with that and get them down here. And
Great.
maybe we'll have a group or 2 or 3 come at one time and to have the kids, like, because they do have great personalities and fun to be
Yeah.
around. So for the community to get to see, hey, not that kid in the number, now they can put a face to that kid and understand who he is.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'd love to see that happen for them.
And you're going to a camp pretty soon too.
We go to Camp Winaki in less than a month. It's up on Lake 𝗗𝗶𝗹𝘆, and I always took our team away to camp, and this camp in particular, I think I went my last 6 or 7 years, 6 years anyway at Lowell High, and we went there last year. So a lot of kids were on Lake 𝗗𝗶𝗆𝗆. It's a beautiful, beautiful area,
Yeah.
and a lot of kids have. I had never been to really Lake 𝗗𝗶𝗆𝗆 until I started going to camp
I
there.
love that area.
Yeah, and like the water is like 80 degrees, and at night it's like I'm not a big astrology guy, but at night the stars are like right
Oh,
on top of
yeah.
you, and
So different when you're like in a place where there's like no pollution or anything. Yeah.
and all our kids were like, Coach, like most of them were like, we've never been here or a
Oh,
place like
that's
this, and
awesome.
they were like, this is really great, and the football part is hard, but I thought they appreciated like being in a place like that. And so it's exciting, like to go away. It's my favorite time of year.
Yep. And it's right before school starts.
Yeah, and it helps the kids. Like I know for our kids or any high school kid is you don't have to worry about anything at home or doing stuff at the
Yeah.
house that you do every day. your phone. We kind of limit them on their phones as well, and it gets them to relax and kind of enjoy it. So
That's great.
yeah,
Enjoy that. Enjoy each other.
yeah, the bonding and
Yeah.
they're in cabins together. They're eating together.
Yeah.
It's a really it's a real good thing. But outside of the football, they get many benefits
yeah.
from that camp.
So is that funded through fundraising? How is that?
So it's $140 per student to go. But we won't. I'll never deny a kid and say if you don't
Yeah.
have
Okay.
it. But
Gotcha. So,
yeah,
so like you could do scholarships or something.
yeah.
If
So they do pay for it. And,
Yeah.
and I mean, they get 3 meals a day,
Oh, yeah.
housing. So 100,
I'll send my kids there. That's cheaper than if I have them at home.
well, so they do run a camp. That Camp Monocacy runs camps for the summer weekly. You can go for them for the 7 to 8 weeks.
Wow.
They charge for that camp. Believe it's like 22 or 300 a week for a student to go to send your kid there. So I'm like, for $140, we get the 3 meals.
That's
We're
amazing.
there.
Yeah, you get
Yeah.
housing and
Yeah.
that's great.
And the athletic high school pays for our
Yeah.
transportation.
Oh,
and
great.
Yeah.
Excellent.
so I think that in the aid, Scotty Ouellette's been great. He supports it, and most places in Mr. Fiato and Mr. Skinner supported it and
Yeah.
allowed us to go, gave us permission with the school committee. So I thought that was, I
great.
appreciate that because of the opportunity it gives our
Yeah.
kids. And a lot of schools might not do that for their high school team. So that was big, and I appreciate what
That's
they
great.
did to let us go.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of more ways people can give. So I want to sponsor somebody that can't. Please do.
Sure. Absolutely.
When is opening?
The date
game,
we
yeah.
open up at Westford, and I believe it's put me on the spot. I think
Yeah.
it's Friday the 12th or
Okay.
14th. It's somewhere in
Yep.
that date. But we're at Westford, and then our first home game is versus New Bedford on a Saturday the following week.
Oh.
Yeah, we don't really play many Saturday
Yeah.
games. So
Oh, that could be a really fun
Yeah,
event
afternoon.
leading up to it. Yeah.
yeah, sure. That's
My wheels are spinning right now.
no, and I think like any support or help with like that stuff is
Yeah.
like welcomed because it, you know, people have different ideas. It could bring a lot of people out or different events.
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
Awesome.
Whatever we could do to get people at the game.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to come here.
Yeah, no, that was great. I appreciate the support, and it's important for our kids and for the school.
Yeah, it is. It's great. And we'll have you back on again, but we'll continue to highlight what's going on with the team
Yeah, no, thank you, Danielle.
throughout the season. And we wish you the best of luck
Yes,
and mostly luck at camp when you're with all those kids. And
that's actually. I mean, I don't know. I love it.
Yeah.
I could go there for like. I've always loved camp and that atmosphere of like sports and your food's made fair. I tell the kids, anytime you can have a meal that's made fair and you just walk in and eat, there's
Yes.
nothing better.
They'll appreciate that
Yeah.
more when they're on their
Oh,
own and
yeah,
they don't
yeah.
have somebody like making stuff for them.
Right.
But I mean, I just think of like the kid that says, I've never been anywhere like this before. Or, this is my first time here.
Yeah.
Like just
yeah, and
a highlight of the summer, probably a highlight of
sure.
of part of their high school career, I would think.
Sleeping in the cabins. And,
Yeah.
it's a different deal. And I think like I had never done it really until I got to high school. We went away when I was in high school. So it was the first time I had done that. And I was like, wow, this is really good.
Yeah. Great tradition.
Yeah.
So kudos for bringing it back.
All right. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for tuning into the Daily Pulse and letting me fill in Teddy's very big shoes. He will be back tomorrow, and I will be back on Thursday. We're going to have a live act from the Lowell Folk Festival. So lots of good stuff happening this week. But until then, we will see you soon.